Welcome back to the channel. I'm Nick, and on today's episode, we're going to be putting pony walls up for a corner shower. Stay tuned and I'll show you how to get a good, solid pony wall that has no wobble. So the first thing I did is my layout for the shower. I marked out for the bottom plate, the curb, and the bottom plate on the other wall. What I'm going to do to keep this thing from wobbling, I'm going to drill through the concrete with this, and then I've got a rod that I had made up at a local welding shop. This rod is threaded on the bottom, so when I get my hole drilled, I'm gonna run this down into that hole with some epoxy. I'm gonna use this nut and washer to secure it down to my bottom plate, and then on the top side of this 5/8 rod, I've got this plate here that is gonna be bolted to a stud. So once that's all set, this will be jammed in the concrete and it won't go in. So I've got my first bottom plate set. Always go for a pressure treated or ground contact rated lumber if you can. Concrete can hold moisture and you don't want that seeping up and rotting into your bottom plate. I've got a 5/8 inch hole drilled through the concrete here with this rod going through it. Anyway, I'm gonna just tack down this bottom plate real quick, take this rod out and fill this hole here with epoxy, set my rod down in there and let that set up, and then use the ram set to lock in the rest of this bottom plate. I'm gonna see if I can find a strong liquid epoxy to use on the other one, because that was just an absolute pain. I used this here, PC7. It's more of a putty epoxy, kind of like a JB Weld or Quick Weld or something like that. Anyway, that's in. I'm gonna let it set up, see if it holds. I'm gonna finish nailing this bottom plate down and move on to the next one. I got one of my pony walls up here, tiny bit wobbly still. I do have this threaded rod embedded down in the concrete slab that I'm gonna bolt to this right here. I don't think this is gonna work as well as I had hoped. I mean, I can already tell there's some, this rod's got some play in it that I think is still gonna be there even after the epoxy sets, because even just pushing it up to that. So we'll figure something else out. This wall is gonna have sheetrock on this side and backer board and tile on the other side, so it's gonna be pretty sturdy either way. I've got this wall up here, same kind of deal. I used the ram set and set the pressure treated bottom plate and then studded it out and put my top plate. So my idea of running a post down in the ground and epoxying it in and securing it to this end stud ended up not working out. What I ended up doing was going with a 1 inch by 36 inch galvanized pipe with a flange on the top and the bottom here. I Tapcon the bottom flange into the concrete through the bottom plate and then just screwed it to a cross brace here. And that ended up being pretty strong. As you can see, there's a little bit of wobble in it still. It's a lot better than it was Not much movement at all in that. So that ended up working pretty good. We're gonna have cement board on this side with tile and drywall on this side of the wall. So once all the sheet goods are on there, that wall is gonna be very sturdy. I'm not so much worried about this one wobbling. In addition to it being shorter, it will have a corner bench here attached to it, all blocked and framed in, so it's gonna have a little bit more lateral support. All right, now that I got those pony walls framed in, the next thing I'm gonna do is remove one of these studs back here so I can make room for a shower valve that the plumbers are gonna install. So yeah, we're gonna start taking out a stud and get ready for a shower valve. So we got our pony walls in. We're done with that. We used this 1-inch flange and pipe system to kind of make it a little more sturdy. So yeah, if you want to make a really strong pony wall, you can do this. And then if you've got a crawl space underneath, you can actually cut out into your subfloor and attach your studs, drop them down in the floor and attach them directly to a floor joist. So that's it for me. We're still waiting on plumbers. It's probably going to be after the holidays before I can get back in here and do any work. Subscribe to the channel and like this video and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video on this bathroom building. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you later.